welcome to part 3 of our percussion massage gun series. The third part in the sequence. So we had the first part, which was the breathing, which is the Y. Then we had the psoas point. Now we're going to do the glute points. The glutes are the other part of the locomotion. You know, you can't really move without your glutes and your psoas. So we follow the sequence to begin the relaxation of the body, get the breathing going. We're going to hit the psoas first, and then we're going to hit the glute points. Now, oddly, the glute points are not on the butt, so don't be too weirded out by this one. So if you swing around here, up under the ear, and hopefully my ears aren't too crusty for you, but there's a hole here, there's a divot, right? And in this divot is where manually you would go in and loosen up the glutes, okay? Right? So on either side, you have one on this side as well. If I was gonna get it, you do that. So manually, that's where you would do it, and at the base of the skull. So mostly it's back here to loosen the glutes, and I know that sounds weird, but that's exactly what it is. Working these points will activate the glutes and also loosen them up. So they'll if you do these points, they'll get you to where, if you're a person who doesn't really use their glutes very much, this can help out. Like I said before, manually is better, but with the percussion gun, you can still get to these points. And again, I use it for a ton of recovery and a lot of preparing before a hard training session. So I will start here, and then I like to work along the ridge where the cranium is, and I go all the way around. Okay. All right, so I'll go all the way around, I'll hit both sides, and then I'll be prepared. And if you want to test it out, you can also test it out. You can do a glute bridge or something like that. You can do a glute bridge before, and then you can do this thing and test it afterwards. So again, manually is a much better operation, but you know, sometimes it's hard to get to, and sometimes you're tired and you don't want to do it. I like the percussion gun because it gets to it kind of quickly. So here we go. So I'll put it up here, and then usually I try to work my way around, and I'll switch hands and I'll come back over here. I don't have as much flexibility in this arm right here, so it's a little harder to do. So don't go, again, it's not a thing where you just jam right in there and go to it. Ease into it, and then that way you can kind of get used to it first, and then you can, as you get used to it, you can start applying more pressure to it. So there we go. All right, so that's the glute points. And you know, if you're having a tough training session too, a lot of times I'll use it during a training session as well to kind of loosen things up. Say my back gets tight or something. I'll hit the glute spots, I'll hit the hamstring spots, and oftentimes that'll take pressure off of the back. So those are the glute points, and they are part 3 in the sequence. So you're breathing first, psoas second, glutes third, then we'll move on to the hamstrings. All right, part 4 in the massage gun series is the hamstrings, one of the worst spots in the whole body. And so far in the sequence, you've learned breathing is first, psoas is second, the glutes are third, the 2 spots on the glutes. So now we're going to get to the hamstrings, and it's not difficult, but it's kind of hard sometimes to kind of figure out what are some of the hardest points. So you'll spend I like to spend a little more time on the hot spots, because I've torn my hamstrings so many times. It's more fingers and toes than I've got how many times I've torn my hamstrings. But doing these things has helped the healing process when I do tear something, but they've also helped to take away some of the tone out of the tissues as well, so that you either don't tear as much, or you don't tear as frequently, or you don't tear at all. That's the main goal. So with the hamstring points, there's 2 dimples back here, right where the sacrum comes in, or the sacrum is, and then where on the other side, there's 2 dimples. That's the initiation point. Okay, so if you want to think about this in another term, this is where your waistline is, right? So where the glutes come in and the back comes in, this whole line I like to work. Okay. All right, so I even go all the way around when I do it. Now, some of the first ones I learned, obviously the dimple points, these points, but also working your way down to the bottom down here. So what you're going to see me do is I start here, I'll work the line on each side, and then I'll start here and I'll work my way down up under here. Okay, so these are all for me good release points of the hamstrings. And like I said, I'll spend more time on certain points than I do others. I like the bottom part down here as it comes down. Seems to release more of the hamstring and prepare me more. And then I'm walking the line here with the gun. I'll do that a lot. All right. So party on. So I'll start here, I'll work the line, I'll come down this way. Okay? All right. So that's my sequence. So that's one side that I got to. I also, sometimes I will just run down the line between the hamstring and the quad. I like to do that too. And sometimes I'll get up into the meat of that. And you can also, if you can see, you can also hit the very bottom where it comes to insert as well. So you can play around with certain points. So I'll just go ahead and hit this. Then we'll try to follow the line, separation. Sometimes I get up in here, to get this one. So all where the insert comes in, just right above that. Typically on this one, I'll do it when I do the tib points and the calf points, but I just wanted to demo all at one time so you could see the whole line, and then, you know, general loosening of the hamstrings as well. So I'm gonna flip over this side now. Makes you nice and relaxed too. On to the next part.